The assertion that a homeowner can never create a code violation simply by using electrical appliances and equipment is not completely true. In general, using appliances and equipment according to the manufacturer's directions and local electrical codes will likely not create a code violation. However, there are exceptions. A homeowner could create a code violation if they use an appliance or equipment in a way that the manufacturer did not intend. This could include overloading a circuit. Overloading a circuit happens when you connect too many devices to a single circuit, drawing more amperage than the circuit is designed to handle. Circuits are protected by circuit breakers or fuses, which are designed to trip or blow when the current exceeds the circuit's rating. For example, a typical household circuit might be rated for 15 amps or 20 amps. If you plug in several high-power devices, such as a space heater, a hairdryer, and a microwave, all at the same time, the total current draw could exceed 15 amps or 20 amps, causing the circuit breaker to trip or the fuse to blow. This is a safety mechanism to prevent the wires from overheating and potentially causing a fire. However, repeatedly overloading a circuit can damage the wiring and increase the risk of fire. It is also possible that a homeowner uses an appliance with a damaged cord. Electrical cords can become damaged over time due to wear and tear, bending, or being pinched. Damaged cords can expose the wires inside, creating a shock hazard. If the exposed wires come into contact with each other, it can cause a short circuit, which can also lead to a fire. Regularly inspect electrical cords for any signs of damage, such as fraying, cracking, or exposed wires. If you find a damaged cord, stop using the appliance immediately and replace the cord or have it repaired by a qualified electrician. Another instance that could create a code violation is if a homeowner makes modifications to their electrical system without obtaining the proper permits and inspections. Electrical codes are in place to ensure the safety of electrical installations. They cover a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, circuit protection, grounding, and bonding. Before making any modifications to your electrical system, it is important to obtain the necessary permits from your local building department. This ensures that the work will be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector, who will verify that it meets the requirements of the electrical code. Adding new outlets or fixtures without a permit can result in code violations, fines, and even require you to remove the unpermitted work. To avoid electrical code violations, first, familiarize yourself with the electrical codes that apply to your area. Electrical codes vary from one jurisdiction to another, so it is important to know the specific requirements in your area. Contact your local building department or a qualified electrician to obtain a copy of the electrical code. Secondly, use electrical appliances and equipment safely and in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Read the instructions carefully before using any new appliance or piece of equipment. Pay attention to any warnings or cautions about overloading circuits, using extension cords, or operating the appliance in wet locations. Thirdly, avoid making modifications to your electrical system without obtaining the proper permits and inspections. If you need to add new outlets or fixtures, or make any other changes to your electrical system, contact a qualified electrician to do the work. They will obtain the necessary permits and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the electrical code. If you are unsure about whether your use of electrical appliances or equipment is compliant with code, you should contact a qualified electrician for assistance. They can inspect your electrical system and identify any potential code violations. They can also provide advice on how to use electrical appliances and equipment safely and in accordance with the electrical code. Some common homeowner mistakes that can lead to electrical code violations include using extension cords improperly. Extension cords are intended for temporary use only. They should not be used as a substitute for permanent wiring. If you need to run power to an area that does not have an outlet, have a qualified electrician install a new outlet. Also, covering extension cords with rugs or furniture can trap heat and create a fire hazard. Installing the wrong type of light bulbs can also cause problems. Light fixtures are designed to handle a specific wattage of light bulbs. Using a light bulb with a higher wattage than the fixture is designed for cannot overheat the fixture and create a fire hazard. Check the fixture for the maximum wattage rating and use a light bulb that is within that rating. Furthermore, neglecting ground fault circuit interrupters, also known as GFCI protection, is important. GFCIs are designed to protect you from electric shock in wet locations such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit. If there is a difference between the amount of current flowing into the circuit and the amount flowing out, the GFCI will trip, cutting off the power. Test GFCIs regularly to make sure they are working properly. You can test a GFCI by pressing the test button. The GFCI should trip, cutting off the power to the circuit. If the GFCI does not trip, it needs to be replaced. Ignoring warning signs such as flickering lights or outlets that are warm to the touch are potential problems. Flickering lights can be a sign of loose connections or overloaded circuits. Outlets that are warm to the touch can be a sign of a wiring problem. If you notice any of these warning signs, contact a qualified electrician to investigate. The National Electrical Code, also known as NEC, is a widely adopted standard for safe electrical installation. It is not law unless adopted by a local jurisdiction. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for electrical wiring, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. State and local jurisdictions often amend the NEC to fit local needs and conditions. Electrical permits are required for most electrical work to ensure compliance with safety standards. Permits allow local inspectors to review and approve electrical plans before work begins. Inspections are conducted during and after the work to verify that it meets code requirements. Ignoring permit requirements can result in fines and mandatory corrections. A licensed electrician is trained to install and maintain electrical systems safely and according to code. Licensing ensures that electricians have the necessary knowledge and experience to perform electrical work correctly. Hiring a licensed electrician provides assurance that the work will be done safely and in compliance with code. Some electrical work is within the scope of a handy homeowner, such as replacing a light fixture or an outlet. However, more complex work, such as wiring a new circuit or installing a service panel, should be left to a licensed electrician. When considering electrical work, assess your skills and knowledge honestly. If you are unsure about any aspect of the work, it is best to hire a professional. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and mistakes can have serious consequences. Before starting any electrical project, turn off the power to the circuit you will be working on at the service panel. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that the power is off before touching any wires. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves. Keep your work area clean and organized. Do not work alone and let someone know what you are doing. When working with wiring, use the correct size and type of wire for the application. Refer to the NEC or consult with an electrician to determine the appropriate wire size. Make sure all connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating and create a fire hazard. Grounding is an important safety measure that helps to protect against electric shock. Make sure all electrical equipment is properly grounded. Use a grounding wire to connect the equipment to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. Bonding is the process of connecting metal parts of an electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. This helps to ensure that the circuit breaker will trip quickly in the event of a fault, protecting against electric shock and fire. In the event of an electrical fire, immediately evacuate the building and call the fire department. Do not attempt to put out an electrical fire with water. Use a fire extinguisher that is rated for electrical fires. In conclusion, homeowners can create electrical code violations through misuse of appliances, overloading circuits, unpermitted modifications, and neglecting safety measures. Familiarizing yourself with electrical codes, using appliances safely, obtaining permits, and hiring qualified electricians can help prevent violations and ensure electrical safety. Remember that electricity is a powerful force and should be treated with respect. By following these guidelines, homeowners can protect themselves, their families, and their property from electrical hazards. If a homeowner installs an ungrounded receptacle in a location that requires grounding, this creates a code violation. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker and prevent electric shock. Ungrounded receptacles do not provide this protection. Replacing a two-pronged receptacle with a three-pronged receptacle without providing a grounding path is a common mistake that can create a code violation. If a homeowner uses flexible cords for permanent wiring, it is a code violation. Flexible cords are designed for temporary connections and are not rated for permanent installations. Using flexible cords for permanent wiring can create a fire hazard. If a homeowner installs electrical equipment in a wet location without proper protection, this creates a code violation. Electrical equipment installed in wet locations must be rated for wet locations or protected by an enclosure that is rated for wet locations. This helps to prevent water from entering the equipment and causing a short circuit or electric shock. If a homeowner blocks access to electrical equipment, such as a service panel, this creates a code violation. Electrical equipment must be readily accessible for inspection and maintenance. Blocking access to electrical equipment can make it difficult to perform necessary repairs and can create a safety hazard. If a homeowner fails to protect wiring from physical damage, this creates a code violation. Wiring must be protected from physical damage by conduit, raceway, or other approved methods. This helps to prevent the wiring from being damaged and causing a short circuit or fire. If a homeowner fails to support wiring properly, this creates a code violation. Wiring must be supported at regular intervals to prevent it from sagging or becoming damaged. Proper support ensures that the wiring is secure and protected. If a homeowner uses the wrong type of wire connectors, this creates a code violation. Wire connectors must be rated for the type of wire being used and must be installed properly. Using the wrong type of wire connectors can create a loose connection, which can lead to overheating and fire. If a homeowner fails to properly terminate wiring, this creates a code violation. Wiring must be properly terminated at devices and equipment. Proper termination ensures that the connection is secure and that the electricity will flow correctly. If a homeowner fails to label circuits properly, this creates a code violation. Circuits must be labeled to identify the devices and equipment they serve. Proper labeling makes it easier to identify circuits and to troubleshoot problems. If a homeowner does not follow manufacturer's instructions, it is a code violation. Electrical equipment must be installed and used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Following the manufacturer's instructions helps to ensure that the equipment is installed and used safely and correctly. The NEC Table 310.15b16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their size and insulation type. Using conductors with insufficient ampacity for the applied load is a code violation. NEC Section 110.3b requires that listed or labeled equipment be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in the listing or labeling. Ignoring these instructions can result in a code violation.